keeps on progressing in terms of his maturity behind the wheel. It's one tough customer. Here he comes to the checkered flag now. Tutterall able to do just a little bit better, 17.074. So first car on the racetrack, now the second car coming up. Driver the number 4 out of Walnut Cove, North Carolina. And the Carolina Drilling, Greg Butcher Trucking, QRC HVAC and Refrigeration PSR machine. For former tour type winner here at Caraway Speedway, the working man, Jason Myers. Myers, not fast at all, struggled with that race car during practice here today. Jason Myers, 16.794 first lap for Jason Myers. He's got one more. Let's see how he does down in turns 3 and 4. Coming off a 4 can be very treacherous, especially during qualifying. He keeps it pointed in the right direction and comes to the line. And a little bit slower on the last lap, 16.8. Time of 16.794, the fastest for the 4 of Jason Myers. Now on the racetrack in one of the most coveted rides in all of Southern modified racing. This driver is from Newtown, Connecticut in the number 79 Sundrop EME Industrial Walkertown Mill Troyer machine for Hillbilly Motorsports. It's Anthony Bello. Bello, a 2-time winner of SK Modified competition at Stafford Motor Speedway. 16.731, just a little bit better on his first lap than was Jason Myers. So Anthony Bello already to the top of the charts here. He comes around. His second lap will be just a little bit better, 16.678 for Anthony Bello. Now on the racetrack, driver of the number 21 machine, a former top 10 finisher here at Caraway Speedway in smart competition. He is out of Reedy Creek, North Carolina, and the Carolina Drilling Tutterall Racing Fury. It's Jimmy Wallace. Wallace also with a top 10 finish in the Pace-O-Matic King of the Modifieds at South Boston Speedway. Jimmy Wallace, third quick first lap, 16.827 for Jimmy Wallace. Gonna have to pick it up just a little bit. And remember, a redraw after qualifying today could be for up to 8 drivers. We'll see with a draw that the Pace-O-Matic winner will draw out of a hat a little bit later on. Jimmy Wallace to the top of the heap, 16.636. Jimmy Wallace, good lap for him. Now on the racetrack in the number 12 out of Louisville, North Carolina. In the Jerry Hunt Supercenter, Severt Auto, AJP Transport, Mega Plumbing of the Carolinas, Kevin Says Yes.com, Troyer Machine. It's Cody Norman, third generation race car driver. His dad, Mike, had piloted a modified many times around Caraway Speedway. Cody Norman, first lap, 16.937. 16.937 for the former Carolina Crate Modified champion. A win at Auburndale Speedway in crate modified competition earlier this year. He comes around to the checkered flag. Cody Norman will remain fourth quick overall, time of 16.802, his best time of record. Now on the racetrack, the number 24 machine. This guy is literally bad to the bone out of Freehold, New Jersey. Amerifast Supply on the side of this race car. It's a Troyer machine for Buddy Ellis. It's Danny Bone in the 24. Bone has been to victory lane in tour type competition here at Caraway Speedway in the past. He's always quick in qualifying, 16.644 his first lap for Danny Bone. Big surprise for Danny Bone in practice earlier today. Not the speed that he wanted out of this race car. They finished in the top 3 in the most recent race at Franklin County Speedway. Danny Bone, number 1 on the board, 16.550 for the driver out of New Jersey. And now on the racetrack, this driver originally from Connecticut, now from Concord, North Carolina, in the number 77 Curb Records Mohawk Stock Car Steel and Aluminum SRI Performance Sunoco Race Fuels Troyer for Gary Putnam. Putnam, a former tour type modified winner here at Caraway Speedway as well. White flag is in the air for Gary Putnam. 16.776 first lap for Gary Putnam in that beautiful blue and yellow Curb Record 77 machine. This car totaled by Ryan Preece in the last race. Preece had led 39 laps at Franklin County Speedway. Gary Putnam will be fourth quick, 16.776, his time of record during Pace-O-Matic Pole Award qualifying. The next driver on the racetrack, currently 10th overall in the point standings. The Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic in the number 16 with Pace-O-Matic and aggressive hydraulics on the side of this PSR machine with a Tony's race engine underneath the hood. Out of Oxford, North Carolina, it's Jonathan Cash. Jay Cash, 2 top 10 finishes in his last 3 races. He's going to have to pick it up a little bit here. 16.872. Not fast in practice earlier today was Jonathan Cash. Let's see what he can do. A little bit sideways coming off the corner there on turn number 4. Jay Cash going to remain 7th quick overall. 16.872, his fast time. And here's another huge surprise during practice. The heat getting to everybody here today because Bert the 8 Myers not fast at all. He's out of Walnut Cove, North Carolina in the Citrus Safe Grill Cleaners, Peanut Patch Backyard Leisure Pool and Spas PSR machine. His wife Kim Meyer is the slated owner on this race car. White flag in the air for the defending winner of the Revolutionary 99, 16.709, 16.709 for Bert Myers. Myers, a winner of a bunch of races in tour-type modified competition at Caraway Speedway. Coming to the checkered flag. Can he do a little bit better? Bert Myers, 3rd quick. 16.652. Danny Bone, Jimmy Wallace, Bert Myers, the top 3 so far during Pace-O-Matic Pole Award qualifying at Caraway Speedway. This driver in the number 25 out of Made in North Carolina in the Mark III Financial Units Moving and Storage Buzzy Racing Troyer machine for Mike Smith. It's Tommy Buzzy Jr. Buzzy very strong in this car. After a slow start, they're getting things rolling in the right direction. And Buzzy, 5th quick first lap, 16.733 for Tommy Buzzy Jr. His family, long history in racing all over the country. Tommy Buzzy with an opportunity in a lifetime here this year with this Mike Smith prepared machine. He'll remain 5th quick on his 2nd lap, not as quick as the first lap of 16.733. Here's a guy with a couple of top 10 finishes in tour-type modified competition at this racetrack. In the number 18, he's out of Lexington, North Carolina, in the Yates Grading and Paving PSR machine for Daniel Yates. Simple but good paint scheme on the side of this race car. You see the numbers on the quarters to exemplify that sponsor on the door panels of this machine. Daniel Yates, 10th quick first lap, 16.910 for Daniel Yates. Let's see what he does down in turns 3 and 4. Having a difficult time getting that car pointed in the right direction. Checkered flag in the air for Daniel Yates. And he's going to remain 10th quick overall with that time of 16.910, his 2nd lap. Not quick enough to bring him up the charts. Nice to see this gentleman back with us in the number 11 machine out of High Point, North Carolina, in a Better View Glass and Mirror Alliance Hose and Tube Works Basic Racing Enterprises PSR machine for Michael Rich. Michael Rich, a former Pro Cup South champion. 15 wins in Pro Cup competition. He was top 10 earlier today in practice. Michael Rich, 11th quick first lap, 16.976 for the driver of the red number 11. See what he does here on his 2nd lap. Will he improve? He does by just a little bit. He's up to 9th quick, 16.845 for Michael Rich on a hot day here in the Carolinas. Coming up next, Challengers qualifying and then 602 modifieds. Now on the racetrack. In the number 18 out of Corpus Christi, Texas. Cookout, Coca-Cola, Units Moving and Portable Storage. Pace-O-Matic on the side of this PSR for SNS Racing and Bobby Labonte. NASCAR Hall of Famer in the number 18. He's won a couple of races in the Smart Modified Tour, and he's number 1 on the board so far here in qualifying. 16.535 on his first lap for Bobby Labonte. To the line he goes, and his first lap was the better lap. 16.535, his 2nd lap, 16.652. Bobby Labonte, pretty good when he raced here earlier this year. A podium finish for the driver out of Corpus Christi, Texas. Here's another driver you're going to have to keep an eye on here because he had a great run on the podium as well earlier this year in the number 2 out of South Bend, Indiana in the Shitty Coolers, Capital Automotive Group, Aggressive Hydraulics, Montrose Molders Corporation. This is for Coulter Motorsports and the Rocket Man, Ryan Newman. former Daytona 500 winner. Loves himself some modifieds, and he's third quick on his first lap. 16.629 for Ryan Newman. That is a good first lap for the Rocket Man. Let's see what he does down here in the corner. You see those big 15-inch wide wheels. Those tires gripping the surface. He will remain third quick overall. His second lap was the best lap, 16.584. So a 5.35 first for Bobby Labonte to a 5.84 so far here in qualifying. Now on the racetrack, the number 63 machine, making his first start with the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic here this year out of Archdale, North Carolina, in the Louder Construction, Louder Steel Incorporated PSR. It's Josh Louder. He is always quick in Carolina crate modified competition and here at Caraway Speedway. Won a race back in May, 9th quick first lap, 16.792 for Josh Louder. Louder goes to third quick on his second lap, 16.556. That's really tight right there between first and second. Danny Bone with a 5.50 and Josh Louder with a 5.56. Nobody better than this kid so far this year on the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic. In the number 23 out of Lexington, North Carolina, in the LNR Transmissions, LeBlue Bottled Water, QMF Metal Fabrication PSR, this is Carson Lofton. Lofton, 5 wins and heads the point standings coming into this race. Fourth quick first lap, 16.557 for Carson Lofton. He won the Warrior 100 here in the springtime. Race number 2 on the Smart Modified Tour season. Can he go back to back? Checkered flag in the air, just misses that top time by, 1/1000th of a second. Carson Lofton, 16.536 to Bobby Labonte's 16.535. Whoa, Nelly here at Caraway Speedway today. Now on the racetrack, the number 15. We go from son to father. Also out of Lexington, North Carolina, in the LNR Transmission, Steve Tires and Automotive. Unique Coatings Troyer machine for Shady Grady Racing. It's Brian Lofton. Lofton, a winner here and Tour Type Modified competition many times over. Lofton, 9th quick, 16.690, first lap for Brian Lofton. Lofton, what a difficult year it has been for this team. So many bad luck and misfortune. And he's 16.635 on his second lap. Lofton, 6th quick overall. Driver who graced victory lane last year here at Caraway Speedway. Now up on the racetrack in the 04 machine. He's out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, the Q104.1, KevinSaysYes.com, iHeartRadio, Don and D. Stone. It's Brandon Ward, last year's NASCAR Modified champion at Bowman Gray Stadium. Already has a win there this year. And Brandon Ward, always very quick here. In fact, he is number 1 on the board, 16.481, the first driver in the 4s here. So Brandon Ward, very good on his first lap. We'll see if he can do a little bit better. That second lap for some, not very fast. Brandon Ward, second lap is slower, 16.605, but his top time is 16.481, the top so far during qualifying. Now on the racetrack, for Bill Stanley and Hermie Sadler, it's the 7VA. He's out of Mooresville, North Carolina with Pace-O-Matic, Stanley Law Group, and Mohawk Northeast. On the side of this PSR race car for SNS Racing, it's Luke Baldwin. Baldwin, 18 years old right now, the Pace-O-Matic King of the Modifieds winner at South Boston Speedway. Baldwin, 2 poles already this year, 4th quick first lap, 16.545 for Luke Baldwin. 3rd generation modified racer. His dad, one of the greats, his granddad, the Tiger Tom Baldwin, a little bit loose coming off the corner, and that's going to slow him down on his second lap. 16.650 second lap, but that 5.45 will put him 4th overall. Now on the racetrack, this guy knows a thing or two about modified racing. His dad was so good for so many years. His brother very good as well. And now Jimmy Showtime blew it. And the number 99 for Jamie Tomeno, wheeling it here on the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic. Jimmy blew it, very good in practice right now, 16.687 first lap, 12th quick overall in that number 99 machine. Hoping to pick up the pace a little bit and get in the redraw. coming to the line this time. Will Blewett do a little bit better? Oh, he will not. 16.708, second lap. He'll remain 12th quick with that 16.687. Big surprise right there, but earlier today during practice, this was the driver that was quickest overall. Usually, and he'll tell you this, not a good qualifier in the O2 out of Miami Springs, Florida, in the Torch Eyewear Molecule Air Shock Driver Fine SRI Performance Bilstein Shocks Fury Machine. It's Joey Coulter. Coulter, 2 wins on the Smart Modified Tour in his career. 15th quick, first lap. Wow. 16.780, not where Joey Coulter wanted to be. He needs to pick it up to try to put himself in the redraw after a 4th place run at Franklin County Speedway. Coulter not going to be able to do it. Slower on his second lap. So fastest in practice, 15th overall for Joey Coulter during Pace-O-Matic Pole Award qualifying. Wow, what a big turn of events for that driver. His wife also racing here today. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. But it will be Brandon Ward who will win the Pace-O-Matic Pole Award here with a time of 16.481 seconds. Second quick, Bobby Labonte, former track champion in late model stock car competition at Caraway Speedway. Second quick overall, Carson Lofton, the series point leader, coming into race number 8 on the season. Third quick, Luke Baldwin, second place in points. 4th quick overall, Danny Bone is in 5th. Josh Lauder, great run for that crate modified standout in the number 63 is 6th. 7th is Ryan Newman, and 8th is Brian Lofton. The reason why I mentioned the top 8, that's who might have a chance for a redraw. Basically, Brandon Ward will go down to the table by the Hoosier Racing Tire truck, and he will pull a pill out of a hat that will have a 4, a 6, or an 8. And depending on what he pulls, that many drivers from qualifying will redraw for their starting spot tonight for the Revolutionary 99. Rounding out the top 10, by the way, great qualifying effort for Jimmy Wallace out of Reedy Creek, North Carolina, in that number 21. And the defending winner of this race, Burt Myers, winds up in the 10th spot in the number 1 with Citrus Safe Grill Cleaners on the side of that race car. Interesting. I'll take the microphone. I'll let the boys up here. We got Chargers coming up. 602 Modifieds as well. I believe you guys, Alan and Wesley, will be on the call for that one. But I'm going to go trackside and see at some point if we can get a word with our Pace-O-Matic Pole Award winner here today at Caraway Speedway, Brandon Ward.